Hi, Steve. Welcome to the EntreLeadership podcast.
Hi, how you doing, Dave?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
Hey, so just a little background, and then I'll give you my question. So, we have a family-owned business that I've been away from. I'm getting ready to go back into it. It's like plumbing and excavating, and
Plumbing and excavating.
Yes,
those are two very different things.
That's so. A lot of the plumbing we do is like installing like septic tanks and stuff. So we have the backhoe, the bulldozer,
gotcha.
That kind of stuff.
Okay.
So we do some residential stuff.
Or you might do some a little bit of light infrastructure stuff too. Okay.
Yes. Yep.
All right.
And so the net profit last year was at $215,000.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I'm getting back into the family business with the expectation that my brother's going to sell it to me because my half brother's who owns it. I was wanting to see, so like I'm going back in, kind of knock the rust off my plumbing and excavating knowledge, and then I'm going to start doing almost like a succession or grooming, kind of like learning how to make bids and like pay taxes, all the backdoor stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I was wanting to see during that succession period, is there anything you can put in place, I guess, kind of protect me if something were to happen to him, because he doesn't have any like heirs that are interested in running it, which is why he's wanting to sell it to me. But if something happens to him before that purchase takes place, is there anything that we can put in place or how, so that way it just doesn't get sold and money divided amongst his heirs, I guess.
What have you been doing?
I've been driving a truck. I worked for him initially, and then in 2008, there was a slowdown, and he was like breaking even. So I ended up driving a truck. I'm driving a truck locally now, and I've been talking to him interested. None of his kids are interested in it, and it's something my dad started originally. So, and it's something I enjoyed, and that's why I'm wanting to get back into it.
And how old are you?
37.
Okay. All right. Yeah, you can simply have a contract with him that outlines the pricing and the method of purchase and locks it in, and that gives him an out if you walk away or you're incompetent and have to be fired or do drugs or whatever, right? So,
okay.
I mean, we don't want him trapped with you if you go bad. But on the other hand, you don't want to be at the, you don't want somebody else to end up with this if something happens to him. So his estate, were he to die, would be liable to fulfill that contract.
Okay.
And so you would get with an attorney and draft a simple purchase or an option to purchase contract, but the contract would become invalid in the event that you don't work out for some reason or another, and that would all be outlined in there.
Okay. Yeah, I wasn't sure since I wouldn't have actually taken ownership of what could be put in place. So.
Yeah, you're contracting. It's a purchase contract that says you have the right to purchase it under the following terms, and it might be that it takes 3 years to close this deal, right?
Okay. So, yeah.
It doesn't have to be that just because you have a contract that it's 30 days. It could be, that you have the business under contract, and part of that contract is this apprenticeship period where you learn the skills necessary to run the business. And if during that time you guys decide to separate ways, he's not bound to sell it to you then.
Okay. And then if something happens, that protects me so I can still...
Something happens to him, like he dies, that protects you, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
and
that's
one thing you can add to that if you want to. It's a touch more sophisticated, and I really wouldn't do this until you've been in the saddle for at least 6 months. But if someone's in a partnership, they normally set up, and you're not, but they normally set up what's called a buy-sell agreement, which it sounds like this: he buys life insurance that makes you the beneficiary. And so part of the deal is he would go buy a term policy for, I don't know, whatever you're going to pay for the business. Call it $1 million, okay? You're going to pay $1 million for this business. then he buys a term policy for $1 million. In the event of his death before you execute on the contract, that money is left to you, and then you are obligated to use that money to buy the business from his widow or his heirs.
Okay. So, yeah, basically give them the money that comes from that.
Right. And that would be, that's called a buy-sell agreement. And that's a fairly standard thing. And term insurance, if he's in good physical condition, is not very expensive. So it doesn't cost a lot to put that in place. And, you know, were I in your shoes, I might even be willing to pay for that policy.
Okay.
Because it gives you the money. It gives you the money to buy out any heirs instantly and execute on this contract if something should happen to him. But again, you guys need lots of exit provisions in the contract that if somebody's misbehaving, we can get a part. Okay. I mean, if he starts doing drugs and selling and running bulldozers off into ditches and stuff, you need to get out of there, right?
Yeah, because that wouldn't.
Yeah, you're gonna get stuck with a bill you don't need, and a headache you can't afford. So people get into crap like that. You know that. So I'm not saying your brother's going to do that, but I'm just saying you need the provisions. I call them the go crazy provisions. If somebody goes crazy, what are we going to do?
Okay, and then you just work all that with an attorney. Then
it's standard exit clauses in a contract of this sort.
Okay.
Yeah, a good general practice attorney. This is probably going to cost you $1,000, $2,000 to put this contract together.
Okay.
And it'll be worth every penny because it's going to spell out every little thing that when this happens, then the next thing we do is this, and this happens, we do this, and that's all the bad stuff. But it also outlines under what conditions you're going to become the owner, and you're going to go through a 1-year apprenticeship to relearn or learn the skills for estimating and operating and running the business, and so on. So, and then after that 1 year, then pay is going to be X and Y. And after another year of that pay in X and Y, then you're able to purchase the business under this formula for this price, this multiple of net profits or however you calculate this in this situation. So all of that'll work. All of that'll work perfectly.